Hey everyone, it's Friday, which means it's time to deploy. I'm joined again by Matt. We've got a lot of stuff in today's show. We're going to be talking a little bit about modernizing, our process editor. We've got Matt talking a little bit about Azure private networks. We've got some cool videos to show as well, along with some other things, and possibly a innovation around AI with a new MVP server from our community, an MCP server rather from our community. But first, Matt, how was your week? Everything go well?
Yeah, another great week. The sun is shining today, although you can't see it. I've gone ahead and shut my curtain there, but I'm about to get outside for a walk today. So yeah, another fantastic week. Looking forward to the weekend. How about yours? Is your week gone
Yeah,
well? Yep.
Yeah, very well. In fact, weather here is great as well. Enjoying the sunshine. We kind of don't suffer the same sort of winter that North Americans do. We don't really have snow. It gets chilly, but I wouldn't say it gets cold. And except for Matt, Matt's down in an area called Tasmania. If you're not aware, Tasmania is definitely the basement of the world. Aside from Antarctica, yeah, cool. So let's go ahead and get into today's news. We've got a bunch of things to mention. Obviously, this is a new blog post entitled "Modernizing the Process Editor for Greater Control Over Complex Processes." This is from Jasmine. And basically, what we've done is we've revamped our process editor, and we've introduced a much-needed usability boost for teams managing complex deployment workflows. And this update allows you to see the full process while editing individual steps, eliminating the annoying context switching that some folks are used to. Kind of slows you down. So navigation between steps is now faster and more intuitive, and it makes it far easier to reference variables or secrets across steps without losing your place. And it's a subtle change and on the surface, but it delivers real productivity values, in my opinion, especially for teams building large, complicated, multi-step pipelines. And so we've got these really cool animations now showcasing the new process editor. Have you had a chance to kick the tires on this one, Matt?
I have had a little bit of a look at it, and it's so great because when you've got simple processes, a couple of steps or even 6, 7, 8 steps, it's relatively straightforward. But it's when you start getting into some nesting and grouping of them and having complex scenarios where previously you kind of bounced around the UI a little bit and you had to go back and forth. So yeah, this is a fantastic improvement. I really like it. And I love that we've got such a good design team who can come up with enhancing workflows without me, the user, really having to do anything, which is always nice. So
That's right. That's right. So if you want to see some videos, you want to read some of the motivation behind this, you can go check out Jasmine's blog post, which is up on octopus.com/blog right now. We have another blog post from Matt Casperton talking about AI deployments best practices. Matt's written a lot about this, and basically deploying AI models and services doesn't mean you have to reinvent the DevOps wheel. In fact, you can build upon what we already have in Octopus. And so even though AI introduced a lot of unique technical considerations, the same core practices apply. You treat AI artifacts like any other immutable release. You integrate them into your CI/CD pipeline, and you use the infrastructure as code, and then you enforce security and compliance checks such as CVE scanning. And so there's lots of things mentioned here around this by Matt. He talks about platform engineering, talks about DevX or developer experience frameworks that helps teams better define clear responsibility models. So those are things like central, shared, or customer owned. Because these things are important, obviously, when dealing with AI. And so Matt talks about this in the context of the 10 pillars, including automation, observability, repeatability, testing, etc. And so if you're wanting an article that talks about some of these concerns, and if you're looking at utilizing deployment, first and foremost, use Octopus for AI models. And second, you can read more about the theory behind this on Matt's blog post entitled here, AI Deployments for Best Practices.
Awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. You've been busy, Matt. You've got another blog post and YouTube video. So tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so these kind of go hand in hand this week with the blog and the video. And it's if we take a step back, I mean, everyone's pretty familiar with using SaaS applications these days. I know you and I probably use dozens every day in our standard workflow, and we log into those over the public internet for the most part, and that's fine. Like where we've got encryption, we've got authentication, multi-factor security. There's all that built in. But some of our customers like having control over exactly where their networking is going and having that boundary and that security boundary specifically for the networking. And normally what that means for them is they then take Octopus Server and deploy it in their own environment. a lot of our customers also like not having to manage that infrastructure and that environment, and they want to use Octopus Cloud, which is where we host the Octopus instance for you. And most customers use that as a SaaS application. This functionality here with Azure Private Networking is sort of a middle ground where we can host Octopus Cloud for you, but we can then give you private network access to it through an Azure private endpoint. And we can do that because we're hosting in Octopus Cloud. We're hosting Octopus Cloud in Azure. And so all we need on your side is for you to have an Azure virtual network and somewhere to put the private endpoint. And what this means is that you now have control over how your users and your other tools that are interacting with Octopus are going across your network. You can use all your normal firewalls and network security groups and all of that good stuff around your network security to control the traffic to Octopus. And we've built it for mainly one scenario, which is like the inbound access. So people coming to Octopus to use it, or tools connecting to Octopus. But there's also scenarios where we've talked to customers about outbound access from Octopus back to resources in your private network. So you might have package repositories or other tools that Octopus is pulling resources from, and you want that to also happen over your private network. So we're talking to customers and working through scenarios on enabling that as well. So the blog and the video just dive into that in a little bit more detail and take you through why you might want to consider that. If you are one of those organizations, financial, government, we see that a lot, where especially for things that are touching production environments, they definitely want that control over what the network traffic is doing and where it's going.
Yeah, so this is the video that you did that complements this about Azure Private Networking for Octopus Cloud. Matt's got the same sort of hand gestures that I have, which is I caught one this big. So I had a private network. It was this big, sort of thing. So if you're at all interested, you can check out the blog posts that Matt just wrote and published. Or if you're more of the I want to watch variety, you can watch Matt's video up on our YouTube channel, where he goes through the details of what this all looks like, how it works, and why you may want to consider it. This is a part of your ongoing series, Exploring Octopus. So do we have anything coming up that you want to sneak peek, anyone?
I am actually planning next week's episode today. I'm actually planning a few of them today, to be honest. And nice. I'm bouncing around a few different things, and I'm thinking that I might either sneak in some Terraform or some AI in the next week or two.
Very nice.
And then also exploring some of the features that we've got around prioritizing deployments. And that can come in handy when you're a larger scale organization doing a lot of deployments and things start to queue up. But sometimes you might want to get some of those deployments to the top. And there's a few different ways that we help you achieve that. So I want to just unpack that a little bit as well.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to that. We've got another video here. This is continuous delivery office hours. This is from Bob, Tony, and Steve, talking about a variety of things, including PlatformCon, CDCon, deployment use cases for AI. So they had a really good conversation regarding this. You can see it's summertime in England right now. That's where Steve is. Tony's in Ireland or Wales. I think it's Ireland. Yeah, sorry. And it's always raining there, so there's no point showing you outdoors. But they talk about a bunch of things there. So if you want to check out that video, you can check out our YouTube channel there. We have some upcoming webinars as well. You can find these at octopus.com/webinars. We got the 101 next week. This will feature myself talking about Octopus Deploy, and we can kick the tires basically if you want to see how things work there. We've also got this webinar entitled Fast and Compliant CI/CD Pipelines in the Financial Industry. And this is going to feature Bob and Phil. Phil is the CTO of GitHub, and Bob is our field CTO of Octopus. And so if you want to see the dynamic duo of Bob and Phil, the field CTOs, talking about CI/CD pipelines in the financial industry, you can check that one out. That's on August 12th. We also have this webinar coming up entitled How we progressively deliver changes to Kubernetes using Canary deployments and feature flags. So if you weren't aware, canary deployments are a technique that you can employ to see whether or not a deployment will be successful. The metaphor is basically a canary in the coal mine to see if things are okay. And then feature flags are basically if you're looking to implement a capability that you want to turn on and off in production, this is what feature flags allow you to do this. So if you're interested about how you can do progressive delivery through to Kubernetes using these two capabilities, you can check out this webinar. Wow, I cannot talk today. On August 26th. This will be featuring Bob as well. So we'll be highlighting that. So some webinars coming up. And to wrap up some of the other things as well, we've got this post, which was sent to me earlier. This is Armand, who did a MCP server for Octopus Deploy. This is very cool. So for those who don't know, in order to better integrate with with AI in general, typically you want to implement a custom MCP server. And the reason why you want to do this is because it gives you better clarity and basically control over how things operate at an AI context. So this MCP, which is basically, what is it? Model Context Protocol server. Yep. Excuse me. Yes, thanks. And so if you're looking to integrate custom agents to work with, obviously, Octopus, you can utilize this MCP, which is available up on GitHub. And so he sent this to us recently. You can see it's freshly baked. Just 2 days ago that he built this, built inside of Python. So you can check out the source code there if you want. I haven't had a chance to kick the tires yet. Matt, I don't know if you have, but I thought this was kind of cool that people are looking to explore this with Octopus.
Yeah, I love seeing stuff like this pop up from the community. So thanks heaps, Armin, for this. And we might even need to get him into a discussion to talk us through, how it was built and take us through it. But yeah, I haven't either because I only saw this a couple of hours ago. But I'm now just wondering, do I really need to do that work this afternoon that I'm meant to be doing, or can I kind of shift it to the side? Steve, if you're watching, you didn't hear that, but.
Yeah. That's right. It's just the attention deficit is kicking in big time. So, anyways, I did want to briefly share a preview of an upcoming show that we're going to be publishing soon called Life at Octopus. And recently, I did a episode with Paul Stovall, our founder and CEO of Octopus, and just want to show you a brief clip here to what you might expect in this new coming show.
From day one, Octopus has been profitable for 12 out of the last 13 years or something. So that's a fundamental part of our DNA. With that comes so much control over our destiny, right? If you think of on a personal level to be financially independent, how would that change your relationship with when do you work, where do you work, your choices you make in life, right? Well, the same thing applies for a company. A company achieves financial independence when it's profitable. So yes, you want to grow it. You want to find more customers, because that creates room for people's careers to grow. And
so there you go. That's a little teaser, as we like to say, of an upcoming episode, episode 1 of Life at Octopus. And episode 2, I recorded this morning with Harsh, who's our Chief Revenue Officer. I've got a bunch of folks lined up. Matt, I may interview you at some point, so be ready. But yeah, there you go. That's our new show that hopefully we'll be publishing soon. So stay tuned for that. And now it is time for everyone's favorite segment, Support on Friday. So obviously, this is a part of the show where we take a thread or post from our advice channel up on our community Slack. This time, however, I've decided to highlight a member of Octopus. This is an internal Slack thread that was posted to a channel that we have. This is from Nick, where he talks about how he actually posted his first ever question to Octo AI Assistant and was actually very impressed by what he got back. So here you can see I asked my first ever question to the Octopus AI Assistant, and then he said, so the question he asked is, if you want to freeze, this is a response that he posted a question to Octopus AI Assistant. In this run book, in step 1, in the run script step, I reference a library set. What is the expectation when it will or will not be snapshotted? This is a config as code runbook, blah, 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 blah. And then Octopus AI Assistant came back and says, if you want to freeze a value, which is essentially what he wants to do, you would need to copy it into a project variable or otherwise manage it from outside the library set. And Nick goes on to say, I don't know if I agree with how we've implemented. And so we're obviously learning from this. And the non-obvious differences of when not we slap shot. But we can discuss this, but the response was great and it was consumable, and a customer should be able to get the scenario trying to understand the actual behavior of a config as code runbook. So awesome stuff, and we're using it ourselves. So there you go. That is, Support on Friday, helping us internally at Octopus about some of the things that we're working on here for this sort of future that we have around this.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that, because that's one of the sort of basic use cases, but yet so powerful use cases that we're building in and is available in the Octopus AI Assistant, because by default it is using our documentation repository as a source. So it's got context around Octopus and some of our opinions and how to use the product and run it. So you can ask those questions, and you're getting more than just a generic LLM response to it. You're actually getting fed information that's from our documentation and our sources back to you. So it's great for that sort of day zero support of when you want to understand something better in Octopus, but you don't want to go to the general LLMs, because you can come to the Octopus AI assistant and get that opinionated information back that's very specific.
Awesome stuff. And there you go. That was the week there was. And, had another busy week, and I'm sure we'll have another busy week next one. And so on behalf of Matt and myself, happy deployments, everyone. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.